Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Young and Restless twists, the cheating scandal sends spoiler spiraling, and danger looms on more than one front. Young and Restless is driving a few stories in a potentially dramatic direction, but whether we actually arrive at that destination remains to be seen. Here's a look at what's happened and what's coming up. The cheating scandal is clearly about to be blow sky high, with both Billy and Sally confronting their significant others. In fact, next week's preview has Sally asking Adam point blank if he slept with Chelsea in Baltimore. Adam is a lot of things, including smart enough to know that the jig is up, so I'd expect him to come clean. While Sally will be broken-hearted and kicking herself for trusting him again, Billy is bound to do what Billy does and go into a spiral. The preview has him trying to dump Lily from Abbott Chancellor to fly solo, which would undoubtedly thrill Victor and play right into his hands as far as the takeover is concerned. This is where I feel Jill's absence in the story, however, as firing Lily is not a move she would sanction. Will Lily fight back? I hope so. As for the romantic fallout from the cheating scandal, the writing is on the wall for Sally and Spoiler to hook up. Oh, our poor Tracy. It's looking more and more like her new love, Alan, may not be on the up and up. If our hunch is correct, she's not only going to get her heart broken, and no one deserves that less, but she could also wind up in grave danger. Find out exactly why we think Tracy's headed for big trouble here. Cameron Kirsten is synonymous with the word danger, so his presence in Sharon's mind should lead to very bad things. That said, it's still unclear exactly where this will take us, but given how Sharon Case and Lyndon Ashby riff off of one another in scenes, I'm happy to go along for the ride. Daniel and Lucy have been tied into the story, not only through the Cassie link, but also because of the younger teen being so obsessed with the older one. Lucy's troubles are only going to escalate, and why not? When you're the granddaughter of Sheila Carter, Phyllis Summers, and the daughter of Daisy Carter, you're bound to have some issues. Looking at the big picture, this is probably a journey that will revisit devastating past events via Sharon's bipolar struggles, pulling in a bunch of characters. I'm just hoping the writers don't back away from the potential for big, life-changing drama here. If this turns out to be an anticlimactic tale in which Sharon simply heals herself through self-analysis in her living room, it will be hugely disappointing. At long last, Diane is sharpening her talons again and re-entering the fray. That delicious drama with Phyllis in the athletic club dining room was a good start, but the promise of her going to battle against Victor could bring even more entertaining material. Of course, when Dan plays dirty, there's always the danger of people getting hurt. Will she save her son or make matters 1,000 times worse? I can't wait to find out. This custody story is turning out to be a bust. Summer's arguments about Audra are irrational. Kyle could fix it all with a simple explanation, but won't, and Claire as the syrupy nanny kinda caught in the middle isn't doing much of anything for anyone. It's all fine and good that she took the last name Newman, but I won't be happy until she becomes a real one by revisiting her sketchy side. The best case scenario in this custody battle is that it literally turns her into Scary Poppins. Find out how Claire crossed a dangerous line without anyone even noticing. In the heart of Geno City, where secrets are currency and love is often a dangerous game, a scandalous affair has just blown the lid off the fragile peace between some of the town's most powerful families. As the dust begins to settle, one person is left spiraling into a dark abyss, while others find themselves caught in the crossfire of a brewing storm. The consequences of this betrayal are far-reaching, and danger is closing in on more than one front. It all started innocently enough, or so it seemed. Spoiler, whose life had been a whirlwind of late, found solace in the arms of another, a decision that would soon prove to be catastrophic. The affair was a secret, one that Spoiler believed could be kept hidden in the shadows, away from prying eyes. But in Geno City, nothing stays secret for long. Whispers began to circulate, first as mere rumors, then as full-blown speculation. The tension was palpable as those closest to Spoiler started to notice the subtle changes, the late-night phone calls, the unexplained absences, the growing distance in a once intimate relationship. It was only a matter of time before the truth came crashing down, leaving destruction in its wake. The revelation of the affair was not just a scandal, It was a devastating blow that sent Spoiler spiraling out of control. Once the truth was out, the walls began to close in, suffocating Spoiler in a web of guilt, shame, and fear. The affair had not just broken hearts, it had shattered Spoiler's sense of self, leaving them questioning every decision, every moment that had led to this point. As the days passed, Spoiler withdrew further into themselves, haunted by the consequences of their actions. The once vibrant person who had navigated the ups and downs of life in Genoa City with confidence and grace was now a shadow of their former self. Friends and family tried to reach out, to offer support, but Spoiler was too far gone, lost in a maelstrom of regret and self-loathing. The spiral was not just emotional but physical as well. Spoiler began to neglect their health, their appearance, and even their work. The signs of the inner turmoil were becoming visible for all to see, and concern quickly turned to alarm. This was not just a momentary lapse, this was a descent into a dark place from which Spoiler might never return. While Spoiler struggled with the fallout of the affair, the scandal was wreaking havoc in other corners of Genoa City as well. The betrayed partner was not one to take such a blow lying down. With their heart broken and their trust shattered, they began to plot their revenge. This was not just about getting even, this was about making Spoiler pay for the betrayal in a way that would resonate across the city. But as plans for revenge took shape, another, more dangerous threat was quietly emerging. Unbeknownst to all involved, the affair had inadvertently entangled them in a much larger, more sinister game. The person with whom Spoiler had the affair was not just any lover. They were connected to a dangerous figure in Genoa City's underworld, someone who had their own agenda and was not above using the affair to further their own interests. As the days went by, strange things began to happen. Anonymous threats started arriving, first as cryptic notes, then as more direct warnings. Spoiler's life was suddenly at risk, and the stakes were higher than anyone could have imagined. The affair had opened a Pandora's box, and now there was no way to close it. With the cheating scandal threatening to destroy lives, the looming danger was becoming impossible to ignore. Spoiler was not the only one at risk. Those closest to them were now in the crosshairs as well. The person from the underworld was not interested in keeping the affair a secret. They wanted something much bigger, and they were willing to go to any lengths to get it. As the threats escalated, Spoiler's spiral took a more dangerous turn. Desperate to protect those they loved, Spoiler made a series of rash decisions, each one more reckless than the last. The once strong and capable person was now a puppet, dancing to the tune of fear and desperation. The danger wasn't confined to Spoiler alone. The city itself seemed to be holding its breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Allies turned into enemies as suspicions grew, and trust became a rare commodity. The once tight-knit community was fracturing, and the fault lines were becoming more apparent with each passing day. As the scandal continued to unravel, Spoiler found themselves at a crossroads. The path to redemption was narrow and fraught with peril, but it was still possible. However, it would require them to face their demons, to confront the truth of what they had done and why. It would also mean putting their trust in others, something that had become increasingly difficult in the wake of the affair.